Hi, I am Nancy Denning. I own Touch of Home Catering in Mount Vernon, Indiana. Well, I have been in business for 17 years now. My kids were in grade school, and I was looking for something a little bit different to do, like a change in careers. So, one of my good friends was going to move her family to Gulf Shores, Alabama. And she owned this catering business that I have now. So she asked me if I'd be interested in buying it. So I worked with her a few weeks to make sure I liked it before I put an investment into it. And I loved it, and I've loved it ever since. Well, I'm a full service catering. I get asked that a lot, what I provide as far as food. It's mainly home cooked food with a flair. I do appetizers and desserts and sandwiches, so I do a whole array of all different kinds of food. Well, this is sort of a one-man show, so to speak. I can do most everything by myself, but I've also done it for a long time. But when it comes to really large events like weddings or anything over 100 people, I typically like to have an extra hand. And that could go from food prep to getting it ready to leave to set up. So I have part-time people that typically work other jobs that enjoy helping me on the side. Well, the target market varies as far as my customers. Of course, when you're doing weddings, typically it's the young couples that are in their 20s, maybe early 30s. I work with their family typically, and that changes also. It seems to be like whoever's paying for the wedding is the one I deal with the most. As far as corporate lunches that I do a lot of during the week, that is usually a different age group also. It varies. I do have an online presence, and this is where I get most of my business. I have had a website. I've been in business for 17 years. I'd say for 15 years I've had a website. Updated it a few years ago where I put prices on it, and that made a huge difference. So in today's technical times, most people just Google catering in Mount Vernon or catering in Evansville. I pop up, they look, I have lots of pictures, I have my complete menu, I have all my prices, and from there they can contact me from the website to my email, or they can call me, and I get both. But that's where I get the majority of my business from, is my website. I do have competition. As far as catering, not so much in the small town of Mount Vernon, but more so in Evansville, because it's a much larger city. But most restaurants do cater outside of the sit down. So there is some competition. Okay, so this is interesting with the virus. Typically with restaurants are doing carry out. So they are not making what they normally would if people were coming in and sitting down and eating, but the carry out is sustained them to be able to survive. I am not a restaurant. So before the lockdown of everything, my catering had pretty much stopped, because the big part of my business is corporate lunches. And once the first of the year, when the virus started hitting here in the United States, people were not flying in for meetings. I need to back this up saying I live in a community where there's a lot of industry, and the corporations here are worldwide, have a worldwide presence. So there's people flying in from all over the United States and all over the world to these companies, and they were not flying in, so their meetings were canceling. Also, venues were canceling weddings, so I did have 3 weddings to cancel, and which the girls were very devastated, but 2 out of 3 of them rescheduled, so they're later in the year. So something good that did happen in January, I decided to have evening meals for pickup, where I select the meals Monday through Thursday. They pick up from 4 to 6 o'clock. They have to pre-order, so I know how much to fix. And it did really well, but it doubled once the lockdown hit because people weren't allowed to go to restaurants. So they can just stop by my kitchen, pick up the meal, and go home. So that has been a godsend, and we've just been very thankful for that. Okay, so because there is some competition, and I do fairly well in the county that we live in, but the larger county, Vanderbilt County, that's next to us, where Evansville is, there's all kinds of industry and businesses over there that I don't think people know about me in particular. And I would like to have a larger presence in Evansville. Even though I do business in Evansville, I would still like to be known of, okay, we're having this big meeting, or I'm having a wedding. Touches of Home is the one that we want to call that can take care of us. So I have a Facebook page that at the beginning of the year, when I was slow because of the virus and after Christmas, I did a little friendly competition to get more people to like my Facebook page. And so it went from 600 to over 1,000 likes, which automatically puts you out there even more to people. I also spent a lot of time posting more of any meals that I had going out to the different businesses and different personal things. So I spent a lot more time getting myself out there. But it's still somewhat a struggle. I also do a lot of networking. I go into Evansville at least once a month to a chamber networking event where typically I meet hundreds of businesses and put myself out there for their business needs also. So those are the two, and plus with my website, those are the things that I feel like that have got me where I am. I just would like, of course, like most businesses, to be able to do more. When there's times like there is now, once the restaurants go back in to servicing people, we know that our business will slack down some. But I still would like for it to be strong, and I would still like for people to know, that Touch of Home Catering is still available to meet all their needs. So I would like to figure out a way to do more of that.